One morning, a mother left her son at an orphanage. For no apparent reason, the mother left her son behind. Then the scene moved to 13 years later, where a woman named Mariana wanted to adopt the boy. Mariana has wanted a child for a long time. Long story short, Mariana officially became the boy's adoptive mother. On the other hand, the boy also didn't seem to mind if Mariana became his adoptive mother. Day after day, they went through well. Mariana taught her adopted son many things. Then the scene moved to the next 40 years. Mariana's adopted son was now an adult and even half a grandfather. The man named Jack is known to be a freed fighter. Jack was well known for his prowess in fighting. Even for his prowess, Jack earned the nickname the Slayer. However, Jack was in debt to a mafia boss. Jack was forced into debt, and all his debts were for the treatment of Mariana, who was seriously ill in the hospital. Jack felt that the money from fighting freely was not enough to pay his debts. So Jack decided to go to the casino. He bet his money there. Fortunately, Jack, who was lucky, finally won his bet. Jack was able to use the money to pay his debts to a mafia boss. Jack then went to the casino yard. He read the important letter he was carrying. It was from the Mississippi Housing Department informing him that Mariana's house would be sealed by the bank. If Mariana was unable to pay the arrears, then the bank would auction Mariana's house. After reading the letter, Jack was even more confused about which one to pay first. Jack had just gotten the luck to pay the debt to the mafia boss. Jack also had to pay Mariana's debt to the bank. Therefore, Jack intended to postpone the payment of his debt to the mafia boss. Meanwhile, he wanted to use his gambling money to pay Mariana's debt to the bank first, so that his house would not be confiscated. At the same time as Jack was confused, a man came up to him. The man borrowed a lighter from Jack, but Jack saw a dollar tattoo on the man's hand. Jack realized that the man was the messenger of the mafia boss to collect debts to Jack. Then, without much talk, Jack immediately attacked the man with the dollar tattoo. Jack, who was the best fighter of course, could easily finish the man. After making sure the man was dead, Jack rushed away from the casino with his gambling money. On the way, Jack went to the gas station first to fill up gas. But without Jack realizing it, there was a long-haired man who was watching Jack's movements. It was revealed that the long-haired man was a messenger of the mafia boss to collect a debt from Jack. The man then contacted the mafia boss named Big Mama. Then Big Mama ordered the long-haired man to bring Jack to him alive. Big Mama offered that if the man could bring Jack to her, then the man's debt would be paid off. Hearing Big Mama's words made the man excited to catch Jack. The man pretended to ask Jack for a ride on the reason that he was lost. He also said that he would give Jack money if Jack would take the man to his house. Jack heard that there was money in return, so he finally accepted the offer of the man to take him home. But unfortunately, Jack didn't realize that the man was Big Mama's messenger. On the way, the man suddenly attacked Jack, until there was a fistfight in the car. In the end, Jack managed to defeat the long-haired man even though Jack had to be injured and his car crashed into a cornfield. After the incident, Jack felt pain in his head. He also hallucinated about his teenage life. Jack even saw Mariana's shadow, who was calling Jack in the middle of the cornfield. A few hours later, several cars were seen passing near the cornfield. One of them was a man named David, who stopped at the side of the road. He accidentally saw Jack's car lights still on. David then approached the car slowly. He didn't find Jack, but only the body of a long-haired man and a wad of Jack's gambling money. He told his assistant named Anna to bring the money, and they left the cornfield. Meanwhile, at the bar, Jack was lying on the table. A few minutes later, Jack woke up. He asked the bartender about what happened to him. The bartender then told Jack that a few minutes ago Jack came to the bar with a stagger. Then Jack ordered a drink and ended up drunk. Instantly, Jack remembered his money that was still left in the cornfield along with his car. Jack then rushed to the cornfield. Upon arrival, Jack immediately looked for his money in the long-haired man's pocket and in the car. Unfortunately, Jack didn't find his money anywhere. Jack realized that his money had been taken away. Then Jack remembered that the long-haired man must be Big Mama's messenger. Jack then quickly went to bring the body of the long man to Big Mama. In the morning, David and Anna, who were the ones who took Jack's money in the cornfield, were seen. They had no intention of taking Jack's money. Even though their appearance was fierce, David asked Anna to keep the money until they found the real owner of the money. Anna also always prayed that the money could bring Anna to meet her biological father. It turned out that from childhood Anna had been abandoned by her father. Meanwhile, Anna's mother died a few years ago. Before Anna's mother died, she told Anna to find her real father. For that, Anna's mother mentioned all the characteristics of Anna's father. Until now, Anna has been working with David, who manages an exhibition that moves every month. Back to Jack, who brought the long-haired man to be handed over to Big Mama. But before that, Jack stopped by Mariana's house, which had been sealed by the bank. Jack then entered the house and remembered his teenage memories in that house. After that, Jack went to the hospital to visit Mariana, who was seriously ill. After arriving at the hospital, Jack saw his mother, who was getting old and helpless. Jack then apologized to his mother for not being able to make Mariana happy. After he visited his mother, Jack continued his journey to Big Mama's place. Night fell and Jack had arrived at Big Mama's headquarters in the middle of the forest. Big Mama's men, who knew Jack was coming, were immediately surprised. They knew that Jack was a free fighter who was nicknamed the Slayer. Jack casually brought the body of the long-haired man to Big Mama. When Jack arrived at Big Mama's room, Jack warned Big Mama not to send her man to him anymore and not to bother Jack. To convince Big Mama, Jack promised to pay the debt. However, Jack asked for an additional week to pay off his debt. Big Mama said that she would pay off Jack's debt if Jack would become a fighter for Big Mama again. This revealed the fact that Jack used to be Big Mama's former fighter. But since Mariana got sick, Jack decided to stop fighting and borrowed money from Big Mama to pay for Mariana's treatment. After Jack heard Big Mama's offer, he remained firm on his decision not to come back to fight. He still asked for an extra week to pay off his debt. In the end, Big Mama agreed to Jack's request, but she had to make a seal of agreement on Jack's chest by attaching a hot iron in the shape of a dollar. Then, after the seal was made, Big Mama reminded Jack that if he was unable to pay off the debt in 1 week, then Jack must become a fighter for Big Mama. If Jack tried to escape or refused to become a fighter, then the hitmen around the world would chase him. Then Jack rushed back to his rented house. He could only be frustrated by all the problems that happened to him. Jack got drunk and destroyed things in his house. But suddenly Jack remembered his teenage years when he was often bullied by his friends. That thought made Jack re-energized, even if he would later become a fighter for Big Mama again. Meanwhile, the story moved to Anna, who was still anxious because she didn't meet the owner of the money that she found. David, who saw Anna was anxious, then told her to go for a walk to calm her mind. Long story short, Anna was at the gas station. There she met Jack, who was sitting dreamily. Anna intended to fill up with gas. But behind Anna's car, there was a mysterious man who paid attention to Anna. It seemed that the man had bad intentions towards Anna. Soon Anna, who was caught off guard, was suddenly taken by the mysterious man to a quiet warehouse. Fortunately, Jack, who secretly saw Anna being taken by the man, immediately kicked him. It didn't take long. Jack only needed 3 punches to defeat the man. Anna then thanked Jack and returned to her car. Meanwhile, at the same time, Jack was approached by a woman who was a shopkeeper at the gas station. The woman praised Jack's greatness. The woman even mentioned Jack's nickname, the Slayer. Hearing the compliment, Jack just smiled and left. On the other hand, Anna didn't leave the gas station yet. She was still in the car while listening to the conversation of the shopkeeper woman, who mentioned Jack's nickname, the Slayer. The curious Anna then approached the shopkeeper and asked about who Jack really was. The shopkeeper explained that Jack was an invincible fighter. Because Jack was so great, everyone called Jack the Slayer. At the same time, Anna accidentally looked outside the shop and noticed that Jack was passing by in his car. Instantly, Anna remembered that Jack's car was the same car that Anna had found in the cornfield. An hour later, Jack was seen at Mariana's house. Jack could only cry because in a few days, the house would be auctioned off by the bank. Jack then remembered his teenage years in that house that was full of memories. He could only blame himself for not being able to save his house. When Jack was about to leave, there was Anna outside, who had been following Jack since from the gas station. Seeing Anna, Jack ignored her. Jack thought that Anna was a prostitute who would seduce Jack, but it just so happened that Jack's car broke down. So Anna willingly drove Jack wherever he went. Then Jack asked Anna to take him to the hospital to see Mariana. Once at the hospital, Jack could only apologize to Mariana because her house would be auctioned off by the bank. He had money to pay the debt, but unfortunately, the money was lost in the cornfield. There was no choice but for Jack to participate in the free fight for Big Mama that would be held tomorrow night. Jack asked his mother for her blessing. He also promised that if he won the match, he would stop fighting forever. On the other hand, Anna was reading Jack's diary. She found a name, Sally, which was Anna's mother. It was found that before her mother died, she told Anna that her father was a fighter who had the nickname the Slayer. Sadly, Jack didn't respond to Anna. He only focused on finding ways to pay his debts. Then Anna said that God had answered her prayers through the money she found in the cornfield. Since finding the money, Anna prayed all the time that she could meet her father. Finally, Anna was able to meet the owner of the money, who was also Anna's father. She realized that the characteristics that Anna's mother gave about Anna's father led to Jack. This indicated that Anna was Jack's real daughter. After Jack saw the money in Anna's hand, Jack didn't expect to meet his daughter. Then Jack hugged Anna because Jack really loved Anna. The next night, Jack and Anna headed to Big Mama's place. Jack wanted to pay his debt and cancel the fight. When Jack arrived at Big Mama's house, he gave her the money. Jack said that the debt was paid off. So Jack no longer needed to be a fighter for Big Mama. But Big Mama said that this fight was watched by thousands of people. Each person bet on Jack's victory. If Jack would win, he would get more money than the money Jack gave to Big Mama at that time. The prize money could make Jack redeem Mariana's house. Hearing that, Jack, who still needed money, finally decided to agree to Big Mama's offer. Before the fight, Jack approached Anna and asked permission to fight. Jack said he needed money to be able to redeem Mariana's house. At first, Anna refused Jack's request because she had just found her father figure. Anna didn't want to lose Jack for the second time, but Jack assured his daughter that he would win the match. In the end, Anna agreed to her father's match. Shortly thereafter, Jack entered the arena. Jack's opponent looked younger than him. Jack, who saw Anna crying, then went to her and calmed Anna. But at the same time, Jack didn't realize that the match had started. So Jack's opponent immediately attacked him. Fortunately, Jack was able to avoid his opponent. At the beginning of the match, Jack was very excited and continued to attack his opponent. However, a few minutes later, Jack felt exhausted. This made Jack's opponent turn the situation around by beating Jack continuously. Jack even fell down and was knocked down. For a few seconds, Jack couldn't get up against him. Jack also surrendered if he lost this fight. But Jack saw Anna, his daughter, who was present there. In addition, Jack also saw the shadow of Mariana, who came and kept encouraging Jack. Seeing that, Jack, with the remaining strength, instantly got up and punched his opponent in the face until he was unconscious. In the end, the fight was won by Jack. Everyone cheered happily to see Jack win. A few days later, Jack was seen who managed to redeem Mariana's house. Besides Jack, there was Mariana, who had recovered and spent her life with Jack, and also Jack's daughter.